Relax, the keyboard is off, the press box is closed, and the mic is just getting warmed up as the guardian of the blue paint turned writer is about to enlighten us. The show where the writer is fresh off the presses and the ink is not dry. For this week's show, the Hockey Writers Inc. welcomes NHL draft prospect Connor Kurth. Welcome to the Hockey Writers Inc. Join Lance and Steel as we bring you all the latest on the Flyers.
Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of the Hockey Writers Inc. As always, I'm your host, Lance Green.
And I'm your co-host, SteelFlyers. And boy, I'll tell you what, Lance, we got somebody very special sitting in here with us tonight, don't we?
That we do.
That's right, folks. We are extending the Hockey Writers Inc. warm welcome to a very special guest of the show. We would like to welcome Connor Kurth of the Dubuque Fighting Saints of the United States Hockey League. Connor, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us, man. We really appreciate that. How you doing? How you been? How are things going?
I'm doing well, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. So Connor was listed, if you guys read my one of my latest articles, Connor was listed as being a potential draft pick that the Flyers, or prospect anyway, that the Flyers should be looking at come the middle rounds. So kind of very underrated in my mind, very talented player with a lot of skills. You can watch some videos of him on YouTube or, in the article posted, but definitely a very, very talented young player here. So.
For sure. And we would like to showcase some of those wonderful, great things there, not just the on-ice things. So we're going to kind of pick your brain a little bit there, Connor. So I hope you don't mind. We're going to get a little fun with you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, awesome sauce. So just posted to Flyers Nitty Gritty website just the other day, and mid to late round talent the Flyers should have on their draft radar, and not only as he's selected from a short list of great young up and coming players, but he also went out and landed one. And that's right, one of those fine young players is sitting here with us on the show, and that's Connor. So thank you very much, Connor, for coming on. Very much appreciate that. First question right out of the gate, and like to just say thank you again for being here, taking the time to speak with us. And trust me when I tell you this, we see your game and we see your skills, and we covet that for the Flyers. And I know you're not exactly from out east, but what do you think of the Flyers organization?
Obviously, it's a great organization, been around for a long time, and it would be an honor to play for them, for sure.
Awesome sauce. So we're going to go back and forth here, round robin. And so Lance will be asking you some questions, and I'll be asking you some questions. So thank you, Lance. Go ahead.
All right, sure. So last year, you're looking at around 41 points you ended up with last season. So already when I wrote the article, it was 30 games in. You already surpassed your totals from last season with 19 goals by the time I wrote the article and 43 points. But what I really like is the fact that you're a plus 20 player at the time I wrote this article. So can you speak on like how you really worked on trying to get better defensively, or something to that regards, because you weren't anywhere near that last season. You were just putting in some points and you showing your offensive skills. So
Right. Last year, I didn't have the best plus minus, and anyone can see that. But this year, it's been a big focus of mine. My coach has also emphasized that a lot this year, and I put a lot of thought into the defensive zone and just knew that if I wanted to make it, I would definitely have to be better at that. So I've been working on a lot of video and teaching through the D zone with my coach this year.
Wow, that's awesome. So, and that's kind of the regime that you kind of have yourself on, or is that something that the coaches have you on to try to better your game, or is that something that you kind of molded for yourself too?
Yeah, it was more like a molding with the coaches, just speaking with them and like what I need to be better at and where I need to improve. And so they've been really awesome with helping me through that.
Awesome. And how do you feel that has helped you with becoming a more complete player?
It's helped me immensely. Like I would say last year, I obviously wasn't the best defensive zone player, but this year maybe we don't spend as much time in the D zone this year, but also I feel like that's because of the positioning and just having better reads. So I feel like that helps me not only defensively, but also offensively as a player.
Man, Lance, I'll tell you what, the more I talk to him, man, the hockey IQ and everything, I'm here to tell you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely there. It definitely shows. So what are some areas that you would say are strengths to your game? I know what I would think would be a strength to your game, but and what's some areas you still want to work on? Like you said, you already are trying to focus a little bit more this season on the defensive side, and it's really shown in your plus minus this year. But just, let us in on some of that.
I would say my strengths are as I'm a powerful two-way forward, but I'm more effective on the offensive side of the puck. I feel like I'm a pretty good playmaker, and I have a pretty good shot as well.
I would say so. Yeah. Definitely a nice, strong shot there. You can really release it from outside of the, even back as far as the Ovechkin area, as everyone likes to call it now, by the face-off dots and everything like that. What about your physical side of the game? I've seen a lot of tape on you, and at 214 pounds, I don't know what you guys are eating up in Minnesota, but that's an NHL frame already. That's nice. But is that something you want to try to get a little bit more into your game as well, the physical side of things, because that is definitely a Flyers traits.
Yeah. So I haven't weighed 214 in a while. That was just I was coming in, like that was even last year. They haven't updated that. I weigh around 205, 207 right now.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's more of a fighting weight there.
Yeah. I was just like trying to get real strong for coming in as a high school student last year, and I did it a little. I skewed my training a little bit, but yeah, I would like to add that like a little bit more. But I feel like as a player, I'm physical when I need to be, and like in moments where like it's the time for it, not running around just trying to kill guys. I feel like that's not where I'm most effective. And if that is where my game would need to take me, I feel like I could get to that point. But right now, I feel like I'm more of a offensive threat for my team.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so.
I would have to agree with that. As far as from what I've seen, I see that you have really deft hands, like Lance has also said too. And I really do like your shot, but I really like what you talked about as far as your decision making. That was something that you had addressed in the offseason. It's something that you continue to do. So we mentioned your weight. So I'm just curious. Okay. So like, what kind of diet are you on? Like, I mean, do you burn like a lot of calories and everything? So like, is it a hard time for your mom to keep up with all that food you got to eat? Or
in season, I try to keep the carbs low. Same without a season, but right now I'm doing a lot of low carb, a lot of meat, a lot of protein. And my billet mom, she's great. She's a great cook, and she understands that. So she's very helpful with that side of the game away from the rink.
Okay, that's awesome, because I know that's a very important part of the game now is the nutrition, where a lot of things, back in the day, the guys didn't care about that. They didn't worry about it. I mean, guys were smoking in the locker rooms.
Yeah.
No, I'm not kidding. They were, they would show up to, and so, but it goes to show that it shows your maturity, that you're already thinking about your nutrition. You're already thinking about, the right things to put in your body so that you can have that right physical type of body so you can go out there and do the kind of things that you're trying to do. So very much appreciate that. So
that's cool.
What is your favorite meal?
Game time meal or anything?
Game time meal, anytime meal. I don't care. What's your favorite thing to sit down and like just mow through?
Yeah, it's an easy answer for me. I can never go wrong with the Chipotle bowl.
There you go.
Steel used to be a chef, so that's common occurrence in his questions.
Yeah, sorry about that.
If I'm having a nice dinner, I'll probably sit down and maybe get a ribeye or something. But it's probably just a Chipotle bowl.
Okay, that's
quick
cool.
and easy. All right. Well, who are some of your biggest influences on your game, maybe early in your career? Is there somebody on your team or your coach that you currently have that's really, helped mold you over the past couple of years?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest influence on my game right now is I had two amazing coaches. They both played college, and one went on to play pro, had a few games in the NHL, were Joe Jensen and Billy Hengen. They were my coaches for my past 4 years before I got to the USHL, and they really molded that offensive side and like a really competitive spirit in me. They always worked with us, and they'd even play with us in like games, and they competed as hard as we did, and they really pushed us to be like a competitive player. So I think I definitely would say those two.
Wow, that's awesome. So okay, so with the amount of time that you've played now, okay, what got you started in hockey? What was the thing that influenced you? What made you lace up skates?
It was my dad. He played hockey in high school, and so he threw me right in, and I've been playing ever since.
Oh, okay, that's good, awesome. So you've been skating since you were
little, like 3 or 4.
Oh, okay, awesome. So see, that's why Lance, he doesn't have a problem skating, right? Yeah, he's been skating since he was 3 or 4.
Yeah, well, yeah, same with me. Yeah, but I've been skating for a lot more years than now. That we won't go there. Yeah,
Lance is the goalie, yeah. Right? He's our goalie. He's our blue paint guardian of our blue paint, right? And so he also still plays and he coaches and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So he still gets to be out there on the ice. So he still gets that ice perspective.
Yeah, a little bit. So, what? Obviously you're from there, but what was the major decision or factor to really get you to go to committed to the University of Minnesota here? Yeah. And two-parter, what's it going to be like possibly facing on the other side of the ice from Steve? He's going to Ohio State?
Yep, he is. So choosing Minnesota, it was an easy choice for me when the opportunity presented itself. Growing up in Minnesota, like especially when you're from the cities, that's just like you dream of playing there one day, just like every kid would be from Philly would dream for playing the Flyers. That's where you really want to be. And when I went on my visit there, it took me 25 minutes to get there. And I love the coaches. I love knowing that I'll stay in Minnesota by my family, and I have so many friends there. And actually, 2 of my best friends, Chaz Lucius and Cruz, who will be going next year with me, both go there. And it was just an easy decision. And then for playing Steve-O, it'll definitely be weird playing against him after being on his line all year and laughing a little bit too. So it'll definitely be weird, but it'll be fun to compete against him.
What are you gonna major there?
Oh, I think I just switched it. So I was gonna do sports management, but now I'm gonna do that and something. I'm gonna do a business, something in a business. I forget what it's called, but I'm gonna do 2 because I have a bunch of credits done already.
Awesome. That's great, man. That's great. So you're getting a leg up on your academics, and you're going to get to go to a really great program up there in Minnesota. I mean, a lot of great talent has come from Minnesota. A lot of great things are said about the program up there. So you are definitely headed into a good program, and it's definitely going to help out those Golden Gophers. That's for sure. So
I'm very excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we would like to say one quick little shout out here to your mom. We'd like to thank your mom for especially for reaching out to Lance and for letting you read the article, and now here you are on the show. So very special shout out to your mom, and I believe that deserves the Hockey Writers Inc. salute.
Yeah, no doubt.
To your mom. So thank you very much to your mom, man.
So I got one for you. All right. So obviously everybody knows you're talented around the rink and everything like that, but what do you do when it's not hockey season? When you have some downtime, anything like that?
Yeah, being from Minnesota, obviously I love lakes. So my family just moved on a lake, and we just got a wake surfing boat. So I love to wake surf, and a couple of my friends also have wake surfing boats. So we kind of take turns going to each other's houses and doing that. And after I leave the rink every day, we usually just go hang out, maybe grab some lunch. A lot of times at Chipotle. And we usually just go to one of the lakes and either fish or swim or wake surf, and then that's like pretty much our day. Usually is hockey, workout, and then lake.
So I mean, you say get in the boat and all that. What's that like a month out of the year where you can actually do that up there? It's how cold is it right now up there?
I'm in Iowa and it's about 0. My dad said he's in Minnesota when he was leaving for work this morning. It was about -11.
Oh my goodness!
So you don't really do a lot of wakeboarding much,
right?
Do you?
It's just late May. Like as soon as I get home, I'll throw on a wetsuit and I'll do that.
All right, okay.
June to August is where you can do it without a wetsuit.
Okay. Man,
and here we're crying about it suddenly get down to the 20s or something,
Yeah, we're a little spoiled.
All right.
Put on your wetsuit.
There you go. Those wetsuits, boy, I'll tell you what, that neoprene stuff was pretty wicked stuff, man. I don't know. I've done some scuba diving, and we went down, I believe it was 150 feet. That's a 2-tank dive, and yeah, but you wear that really thick neoprene, suit, because once you get down like 10 feet down, it's like 20 degrees colder.
Yeah.
In the water. So, yeah, man, those neoprenes do real good. Awesome. So here's probably the odd question, if you weren't playing hockey, what would you be doing?
I played football for a while, and I really liked that. And then I was a lacrosse player up until like 8th grade when I started getting real serious with hockey, just making sure I was only dedicating myself to that. But I like to consider myself a pretty good lacrosse player. So when I was doing that, I really liked that. But away from sports, if I didn't do any sports, I'd probably be a fisher and a hunter. Like that's what my dad does right now. He's actually out ice fishing at the moment on our lake. So I'd probably just do a lot of fishing.
Is he like a guide, or does he have like a setup there that he brings people in to do that with, or is that?
He used to be a guide back before I was born, but now he just does it for his own fun. He has a house out on our lake, so he just takes his snowmobile out there and heads into the ice house with my dog.
Oh, there you go. Cool. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
You'd probably like to be there right now, wouldn't you?
I love hockey, but that would be kind of fun to go every once in a while, right?
Right, exactly. Like to get a little bit of break away, you know what I mean? So now you said you have a game tomorrow. Who against?
Cedar Rapids.
There you go. Cool. And what's your record against them this year?
Sadly, it's 0-1.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Can change after tomorrow night.
Yeah. Bang them bodies a little bit more. You guys are look. I'm gonna tell you something, Connor. Okay, look, when Lance came to me and said, "Hey, man, wrote this great article," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I love reading the article. Great article." And he's like, "Yeah." So his mom sent him this article and said he was going to be on the show, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, who's going to be on the show?" He's like, "The guy I wrote in the article is going to be on the show." I'm like, "No way." He's like, "Yeah, here's his email address." I went, all right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, really appreciate you being on the show here with us, and really appreciate you taking the time. And
well, thank you. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Awesome, man. And so, what I'd like to know is the process now, because we've talked a lot about you being a draft pick.
Prospect, yeah.
A draft pick prospect. Okay. I do a lot of prospect watching. I look at a lot of young players and everything. And I got to tell you that a lot of the young players that I've seen this past season so far, you've been one of the better ones.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. And so what I'm curious to know is what do you feel that your experience has been in the USHL so far, being through that program? You spent a lot of time going through this program and going through, the lower divisions and everything like that. And so what has been your experience with going through the whole United States version? I mean, I personally feel that you would be talented and gifted enough that you could probably play in Europe if you wanted to. You know what I mean? If you wanted to go that route as far as juniors or something like that, you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to go, I don't know how all that works. So that's kind of where I'm asking is, you know what I mean?
So you're asking like how I've enjoyed the USHL experience?
Yes. What do you feel has been the most that you've taken from the experience in being in the United States Hockey League?
Yeah. So obviously as a rookie last year, as a young guy, there's not too many 03s in the league last year. So it was definitely different coming from a team where you play most of the minutes, you play first power play, like all that kind of stuff. It was different, not like being first everything, first to go, whatnot. It's I guess you could say it's an eye opener. It's fun, but it's definitely a hard experience. It helps you mature real fast and understand that hockey's not always going to be like you're the guy all the time. So it was definitely, the game was a lot faster. The game was a lot harder to play, a lot tougher. So learning that, like, it's nice you get those preseason games to like feel it out a little bit, but especially the first few games, you kind of have to figure out how you need to play to stay in the lineup and to get minutes. So fighting for minutes and lineup is a lot different than being gifted it. So I guess that was probably the biggest thing for me. And then like now I love it. It's as a second year guy getting minutes and playing power play. It's a lot of fun, right? So I've really enjoyed it a lot, and I've enjoyed learning from last year to this year and seeing like the growth that I've had and like becoming a more well-rounded player. It's been a lot of fun and I've really enjoyed it.
Wow. And I guess you're going to have to do that yet again next season, and prove yourself again and be the new guy all over again.
Well, that's how hockey is. You just got to always prove yourself.
Yeah.
Well, but that in and of itself makes you a better player.
And it does, like grinding every day to try and get into it does.
Exactly. You said it. You said fighting for minutes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so that's something that I want the viewers to kind of get a grasp of, is that when you do come in and you're not the number one guy anymore, you know what I mean? And you're kind of starting from the bottom again and you have to fight for minutes. You know what I mean? And now you're coming in, you're like, yeah, I'm a second year guy now, so it's a little better now. You kind of been through the ringer a little bit. You know what I mean? And you have a little bit more, tread on your tire a little bit, as they say. You know what's going on a little bit more. Do you take any of the younger guys under your wing?
Yeah, that's something I actually really enjoy doing, because as a young guy, there's a few guys that took me under theirs, Stephen Halliday being one, and now I'm fortunate enough to play with them. But it's a fun thing for me, and I hope that it makes the process easier on them, because I don't consider them like young guys when I talk to them. But as a young guy, it's nice when you have somebody older than you and more experience walking you through how it goes. So yeah, I definitely enjoy that piece of it.
Well, I mean, that's a sign of a good leader too, or one to be for sure. So that's awesome. That's great that you're giving back at least and helping the younger guys that that are maybe just a year younger than you, but still. Yeah, I don't know. Steel, what do you think of this kid?
Man, can we just skip the draft and can we just skip the draft and just get him as we can't do that, can we? That's not how that works, is it?
Get Chuck on the phone, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, get Chuck on the phone.
So speaking of that, have you received any calls from anybody yet? Scouts to the games. I mean, it's still a little early, but
yeah, last year I talked to some teams, had a couple phone interviews, did a lot of interviews on like Google Forms and stuff like that. This year I've done some as well. So yeah, I've done some phone interviews and then some like forms. They have like little tests you fill out.
Okay. Awesome. So that was going to be my one of my questions is now I'm just curious as to the process. So is it the teams that invite you to the combine, or is it the NHL that would invite you to the combine, or is that something that is I mean, I don't know what the process is for or how that all works. And I know there's a lot of people out there that don't really know how it works. So if you have any insight into that, Connor, that would be great.
To be honest with you, I don't really know either. There hasn't been a combine in a few years with what's going on. So last 2 years that I've been at the BioSteel game, they've done some combine testing. And that's about as far as I've gone with the combine testing. So we've done pull-ups and then some different kind of like jumps that measures your power and stuff like that. And
right. Okay.
That's
okay.
I know about
all
that.
Right. Okay. So I wasn't really sure about that whole process, and I just kind of wanted to see if maybe, I mean, I know Lance said it's still a little early yet, you know what I mean? But please keep us informed, man. Stay in touch. Okay. I want to see how you progress. Okay. I want to see how your career goes. I see a lot of promise in your game, Connor. I see a lot of the things that a lot of the top NHL players have.
You can't teach at that time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't teach. Right. You can't teach some of the things that you're talking about. One of the things was that you talked about being a mentor for the younger kids. I mean, yeah, they might only be a year or two younger than you. You know what I mean? But they're going through it for the first time, just like you went through it for the first time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
having those older guys help me along, I had some really good ones. So I just kind of saw that and was like, all right, this is what helped me. So I'm gonna try to help these guys, because if I'm helping them, they're helping us win games. So it's a little selfish also, you know.
Yeah, but see that it's kind of a, you know, it's a scratch back kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right,
if you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And when everybody's scratching everybody's back, we're all winning games.
Right.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So what is the first thing that you're going to do when the season's over? What's the first thing that you do when the season's over?
Well, I'm hoping we make it till late May. So when I get home, I'll probably hop right on the boat and go wake surfing.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. Yeah, man. Awesome sauce.
So I guess when you were growing up and still today, your favorite team would be Minnesota Wild, or do you have any particular players, maybe not on the Wild, but just in the league in general, that you kind of look or model your game after?
You know, I like to say I model my game after TJ Oshie, Minnesota guy, and I feel like we play a pretty similar style, I guess.
Not a bad comparison.
Yeah, I you know, it's tough to say that because he's obviously an amazing player and we're not the same, and I'm not nowhere near there yet, right? But if I had to pick one, I guess it would be him.
Okay.
But yeah, the Wild are my favorite team, and if my favorite player that I wouldn't say I model my game after, but my favorite player is Eric Stahl.
Yeah, great player who's. I think he's trying to get back in now too, to go represent Team Canada or something. He just signed with Iowa, right?
Yep, a PTO with them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So he can represent Team Canada. That's exciting.
Wow.
I'd love to see him. Hopefully he's still in shape or can snap back into it either way. But
they scored the overtime winner for him the other night. So
nice.
I guess he's doing all right then, huh? Awesome. So now, what time is your game tomorrow?
7:05.
7:05. Okay, and what is your pregame routine?
Oh boy. It varies. So we're away tomorrow, so it's a little different. But
all right. So what is your pregame routine away?
Away. Okay, so go to the rink. We have a morning skate. I don't do anything like superstitious really. Then I'll leave the rink. I'll usually go grab a Chipotle bowl, which I'll just eat chicken and rice. And if I'm gonna eat chicken and rice, I feel like that's my favorite. So I get that.
But you don't do anything superstitious on the ice.
But it's the same meal every day, every game.
All right. Okay.
And I'll eat that later in the day, like maybe right before I get on the bus, and then I'll have maybe a banana when we get to the rink. I always tape my sticks the same way, same tape, same color. I write a little Bible verse on my knob, and then a cross, and I pray on the bench. I visualize on the bench, and then I get ready. And we do our team warm up and then get ready and then just go out there. It's nothing crazy, but I usually keep it the same in that sense.
That's not crazy at all.
Not crazy at all. And what's the Bible verse you're going to use for tomorrow's game?
I always use the same one. Let me see here. I always look. It's Psalm 23:4. It's though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
That's a great verse. That is a great verse. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
So hopefully it can continue on here because I think the last 5 games of what I have numbers wise, you have 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points, and are +1. In the last 10, Connor's had 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points, and it was a +6. So definitely continuing on that trend, and you can see why his numbers throughout the season are continuing to pile up. So,
man, like I said, you're the type of player that, if you look at, because we're Philadelphia Flyers guys, so we're a little slanted, slightly little biasness here, and this is the type of player that, as a Philadelphia Flyer fan, follower, analytics, whatever you want to call it, you're the type of player that the Flyers type of covet, because you play a 200-foot responsible game and you have really good offensive skills. You know what I mean? And so
he likes to shoot the puck, Steel. That's what we need.
See, and I'll see. Just goes to show you how much we're on the same page, because that's what's going to be my next thing, is that you shoot the puck. Okay. So is there any special like drills that you do, or any special kind of like exercises or anything like that helps you like hone your shot or make your shot better? Or, I mean, are you shooting it into a washing machine or?
No, I would say I've had a pretty good shot since I was little, but I will credit this to everyone who asked me, to my dad. I had synthetic ice in my basement.
Nice.
Nice.
I moved to that house, he'd bring a million pucks out, and he would just teach me like to get my weight here to here, like the weight shift and then the snap, and it just kind of evolved into how I still shoot the same way. And shooting probably a million pucks with him down in my basement is exactly what I'd credit that to. And then I just continue, you work on it after practice and stuff like that.
It's awesome.
Wow, man, that's so cool that you got to do that with your dad, that he's been such the influence on your career. I mean, you know what I mean? So that's really cool. And it shows, because you do have a really wicked shot, Connor. So yeah, the hard work is paying off.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
My dad.
For sure. Yeah. So big props to Dad on that one.
Right.
Yeah, he'll be listening.
Oh, good.
Nice.
No pressure. So your dad's going to be watching, right?
Yeah.
What, I mean, I know this is kind of, where do you see yourself, say, in 5 years?
5 years, I hope to be playing in the NHL, obviously.
Good answer.
Okay. Good answer. Yep. Okay. That's all I wanted to hear, son. That's all I wanted to hear.
Right. Obviously, with you going to Minnesota, if the opportunity presents itself, would you be willing to sign an entry-level contract sooner, or do you really wish to go the whole 4 years and gain the full experience? I know it's years off and you don't know how it's going to present itself, but
that's a really, really tough to say right now. I don't even know if I could answer that right now, because I don't think I know the answer. Obviously, it's my dream to play in the NHL, and if the opportunity presented itself, it'd be really hard to say no.
Okay.
But also, that's my team that I've committed to, so it'd be also really tough to leave. So it would definitely be a big decision, and I don't think I'm ready to make that decision right now.
Well, I mean, that's what I think teams would want to hear too, that you're not, just willing to stay in the NCAA. You're willing to, sign,
Right.
possibly if they need you to. There's been just some players, especially with our organization, who spent 4 or 5 years playing in the NCAA and didn't really ever want to leave college. I guess they were big men on campus and stuff. So that's awesome.
Yeah, but that's okay though, because it shows that you want to stay committed to something. It
Sure.
shows that you want to start something and then see it to the end. Do you know what I mean? And that and again shows your maturity. You know what I mean? And it shows how you've grown and how you've come to look at this game. You not only see that it's a physical thing, but you also see it as, hey, I could make money at this.
Right.
Or I could potentially be making some money at this, or, this potentially could be something that, in 5 years, I could be, out there skating with the pregame warm up and, and everything else like that. And boy, I'll tell you what, man, I don't know about you, Lance, but God, I would love to see Connor in orange and black. I don't care. I'd like to see that. I'm saying it right now.
Wouldn't be bad. All right. So who's one player that you played against that in the past couple of years here that you kind of just were in all about, or just really gave you a hard time when you lined up against them and stuff like that?
Yeah. Oh man, there's a couple players. The Chicago Steel had a lot last year, but
yeah,
when you're out there against Farrell and Coronado, you better know exactly where you're supposed to be at all times, because they will capitalize on any little mistake. Farrell he was so good with the puck, and he was such a good passer, and then Coronado would score it no matter if you gave him an inch. So I would say those two were real scary to play against last year, especially as a young guy.
Yeah, I think Farrell was very underrated as well. I think he ended up going in the 4th. I think mostly because of his size or whatever. But yeah, just a phenomenal player there too. The Steel really helped to put a big stamp on the USHL and bring more focus to it, where for so many years the only places that people looked was the Canadian leagues and stuff like that. And it's nice to see an American hockey really bring to the forefront. And I would love to see it be televised more, across the United States, to give you guys, or give me, the fan, the ability to watch you guys play, because it's definitely deserving. So.
Well, I will say this to you, Connor, because I do watch a lot of the college hockey games. And I'm in the great state of Pennsylvania, so Penn State is more than likely gonna be a opponent of yours.
Yeah.
At some point, maybe.
Every year.
Probably. Right. And so, but no, I follow the guys from Michigan. I follow the guys from Notre Dame. I mean, I follow all the NCAA guys. So I very much can't wait to watch you play some of the games up there in Minnesota for sure, though. And I'm looking forward to seeing you lighting the lamp, sir.
I'm looking forward to that.
Indeed.
Awesome. Well, we just appreciate you coming on with us. We don't want to take up too much more of your time.
No.
Good luck tomorrow, and good luck in your future endeavors. And hopefully we'll be seeing you in the orange and black, and hopefully I'll be seeing you and interviewing you at games here in the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia soon.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, man. Connor, thank you very much for being part of the show. We really appreciate you being here. Any shout outs you want to make, or anyone you want to say hi to, or anything? Or
I'd say shout out to my parents, shout out to my grandparents. Both never miss a game. They're always watching, if it's in town or on hockey TV. So definitely shout out to my parents and my family.
Any
Awesome.
shout out to like the best burrito maker or bolt maker at Chipotle?
No, I'm not. I don't know if I'm on that level yet.
Oh, okay. I
Well,
think they should be giving you some like free, after this, they should be giving some free, gift certificates or something at least. Yeah.
that would be nice.
Right, a couple free bowls and some chicken and rice, right? Like I said, Connor, please stay in touch with us. Please let us know. Please keep in touch. Let us know how things go. Like I said, I will definitely be looking forward to watching some games there. You up there playing in Minnesota, that's for sure. And we're really hoping to see you sometime here in the very, very near future in an NHL uniform. We don't care which one. We prefer it to be orange and black, but quite frankly, I don't care. Any team would be very, very lucky to have a young man with your talents and your skills. So thank you very much, Connor, for being on the show, man. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right.
Awesome sauce, man. You guys have a great night. Good luck tomorrow. Get some good rest.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you sometime real soon here, Connor. Thank you very much, man.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Later.
Well, there you have it, Lance. Man, a great prospect, a great kid,
Yeah.
a great talent. Gosh, wouldn't he look good in orange and black?
Yeah. I mean, then you sit there and hear him, speaking of the Lord, everything, just a good, solid kid. His parents obviously raised him right there. So a good player that I wish him the best in his endeavors for sure.
Exactly. And once again, Connor, thank you very much for being on the show, man. We really appreciate that. Well, Lance, you put out 2 articles.
I did.
Right. And we got to talk about the first one, even though there was a couple other guys listed on that article. We talked about the main one on that article. But you also posted another article out to the Flyers Nitty Gritty website just today.
I did.
And man, haven't you been busy, right?
I have, yeah. A lot of ideas, just not enough time to sit down and write them all.
I mean, it's like, man, you just like, you keep reading and you don't want it to stop. And you're like, oh man, you get to the end and it's like, oh man, I've been reading for a while, but I don't want to stop. But I've been reading for a while, but I don't want to stop. This article here, this latest one that you did, the Flyers will be sellers at the trade deadline, but which players should stay and which should go. Look, we both all realize, me and you realize this, and everybody else out there realizes that Flyers need to dump as much as they possibly can in order to get to a place where they can start accumulating draft picks and or cap space so they can get some free agents to come in here and start winning some hockey games, because whatever they got going on the ice right now ain't working.
Yeah, and it's not working currently as we film this.
No, yeah, I know.
So when I wrote this article, the Flyers were at that point on a 9-game losing streak, and they're well on a way to their 10th straight game losing. They haven't won against a playoff-bound team since back in December 10th versus Las Vegas Golden Knights, and the trade deadline is fast approaching. March 21st is.
Soon? Can it be soon? Is it now? Can it be now?
It needs to be now. If the Flyers know what's best for them, the trend has always been in the past to wait to trade deadline day and make a bazillion different moves, and that's just not what's happening lately. The past couple seasons, teams are getting earlier and earlier with their trades in order to get their guys. And that's just what it is nowadays, and I'm all for it. Why not sell if you know you're going to be sellers? Why not buy if you're gonna need something and get the guy that you really want?
But why wait?
Why wait?
That's what I'm talking about, though. Why wait? Why do we have to wait to the trade deadline? I mean, why? That's the last day you can make any deals.
Right.
So why are we waiting? Why do we have to wait? You know what I think's going on? This is what I think's going on. First of all, your article was really awesome, Lance. You talked about each one of the major players here: Giroux, Brassard, Risto, Braun, Yandle, Jones. All these guys are all going to be either UFAs or potential guys that could be traded or moved or whatever, because Risto is not going to be he's going to need to be signed, okay, at the end of this, right? And so, I mean, all these guys are going to need to be signed. So,
yeah,
no,
all
they're
these guys.
not by the Flyers.
No, they
Not
shouldn't
by
be.
the Flyers.
All these guys are unrestricted free agents at season's end that I wrote
Yep.
about. A lot of people were jumping on and, they're just down on the team right now, and rightfully so, and saying, oh, we need to trade this person, this person, this person too. Well, yes, we do, but that's usually going to come after this season.
Yeah.
The guys that we should be looking to get rid of as of right now to try to get something for is the unrestricted free agents. And the biggest name right there is Claude Giroux. Claude Giroux is obviously the one that could bring us the most back and help us rebuild the most. I think he is deserving of a shot at playing for a playoff, Stanley Cup contender.
Yeah.
And he's not getting any younger, guys. He's 34. He's an unrestricted free agent. The Flyers have already spent his cap. If you think about it, they, gave money to Couturier. They gave money to Farabee to start next season, in tune of a pretty good chunk of money that's going to take up most of his current salary. So I say get what you get for him. Get what you can get for him. You can bring back potentially first-round picks. You should be able to bring back some NHL-ready prospects that could be, helping out the Flyers as early as next season, and to free up some leftover cap space as well. As far as signing him back possibly next season, if he wants to. But ultimately, we all know that the cards lay in his hands. He's got a full no movement clause. So if he just wants to stay in Philadelphia and not uproot his family and just be okay with, the mediocrity and breaking Flyers records, then he can do that. And that's, his play over the years have allowed him to be able to have that decision. But I hope he wants to move on, and I hope the Flyers want to move on from him, because they need to rip that Band-Aid off, like we've been saying for weeks. We need something. We need some kind of future here, and there's very meek, means to do so, to move on from him. So, what do you think, Steel?
The only way he's going to stay here is if he comes in at basically league minimum, because we're not going to really be able to afford it. I mean, he's going to have to come in on like the Keith Yandle deal or the Derek Brassard deal, where he's only going to get like $1 million or 950. But do you see what I mean? That's really the only way that he could, quote unquote, stay, in my opinion. Because, like you said, we've already spent his money on Farabee and Couturier, and we're going to need a goaltender. We're going to need
a lot of defense. Yeah,
we're going to need a lot of defense. We're going to need some offense. There's so many holes on this team that you can't just say, one player is gone and we're good. No, because there's so many holes, and just do the trade now. Why wait for the deadline? Do it now. Get Giroux on a team now, where he has some time to mesh and gel and play with those players and get good and have them go on a run. If anything, I believe the Flyers owe him a shot at a cup by trading him to somebody who is a potential cup playing team. I don't care who it is. And at this point, get what you can from him. Because really, what are you going to be able to get for Giroux? Seriously. I mean, I don't think you're going to get a number 1 draft pick. Like not even from the Arizonas or the Detroits or even the
They're not. They wouldn't
Ottawas.
be trading for him. Yeah, they wouldn't trade for him at this
No,
point.
but you see what I mean, though.
It'd be a team that's lost. It depends. It depends on the team that are contending for a playoff spot, and if they've lost a player, or if they really are just that one guy away, and they really feel like they are. Like I said, I'd rather not take a first round pick, and that's crazy to say, but the Flyers haven't done well drafting people in the first round. So I'd rather have somebody else's proven prospects that are ready to go. In that
I'm
sense.
with you on that. See,
Yeah.
I'm definitely with you on that. I don't want draft picks. I want guys that are 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds that are ready to go, ready to fly right now.
Well, we don't need guys like. We do need guys like Connor, who we just had on, but we don't need them to take as long as Connor may take and go play another year too. We need help now. We need help next season. And, somebody like that is not going to be ready next season to take on that kind of responsibility or fill those skates in a sense. So, I mean, we get what we get from them, and that's we got to part ways at some point. You got to do it. So, moving on, I think Derek Brassard, he's come in. He played well, but he is also an unrestricted free agent. He's 34 years old. He's signed to a good deal. He came in and helped the team a lot, playing with Cam Atkinson. And when Kevin Hayes was down, one of the times Kevin Hayes was out of the lineup, he's out of it again, as we know. Yep. So what could he bring? If Brassard is hurt right now, if he gets healthy and shows he can get a couple games under his belt, he can really come back, and he can offer a team a lot of playoff experience. He has over 117 games in the playoffs.
What are we going to get for him?
I think what we're going to get for him is possibly a 4th or 5th round pick. When he was traded at the deadline before, Colorado, took a 3rd, I think, or something like that. But at this point in his career, he's a couple years removed from that. A 4th or 5th round pick would be great. Hey, that's right where Kurth is being estimated at being selected at. So
I'm with you.
We could take that.
Like I said, all right, I'm good. I'm good with that.
Right. And the biggest name in my mind that we need to keep moving on here is Ristolainen. A lot of speculation on the Flyers actually trading him, and I do not see why. The guy was traded for, gave up a 1st round pick. We gave a 2nd round pickup. We gave Robert Hagg, who was our physical presence. Up for him. Yeah. This guy is a Flyer, and he's playing pretty darn well this season. He's come in and done just what's asked of him. He's a big physical presence on the blue line. He's helped out Sanheim a lot in that aspect.
I'd like him to see him shoot more, but
I think he was getting a lot more comfortable in the offense, and I don't know how much of that is was AV or the coaching unit saying, hey, we want you to be more on the back end and let Sanheim take it up. But the kid's only 27 years old. Risto's still got a lot of years under his belt. He does get paid a lot right now at $5.4 million. I don't think, and I talked to a lot of fans today about this who disagreed with me, but I don't think that it's going to take the Flyers that much money to retain him again. He got that much money in Buffalo because he was expected to be a first pairing defenseman, which he isn't. He's a great second pairing defenseman. And when you look at that, you look at similar players like, say his name, Jamie Ozelek from Seattle. He's getting paid $4.6 million a season on his deal. Big 6'6", 6'7" defenseman, banger, physical, can fight. Doesn't have a whole lot of production. This
he's only
season,
getting $4.6 million.
Well, he's only getting $4.6 million, and that's even on the high end. Steel. Right. You look at Zadorov, who's a big towering defenseman. playing for the Calgary Flames. He's getting a much more reasonable deal at 3.75.
Exactly.
And
that's kind of where I see Risto coming in at, like 3.75, 4.
I said 4 million
4.25.
even. I said 4 million.
4 would be
even.
all right. Yeah.
It's a happy medium. I would say give him 3 years.
Yeah.
Give him a $12 million deal, carrying a $4 million cap hit. Yes, it's a decrease in pay, but you look at the numbers and the market for the height, the kind of player he is, the weight comparisons, all these guys that I just mentioned are very similar style players and very similar point productions to Risto this season, and they're only getting that much. So you're going to get is only what the market's giving you, and the market's, even though he's a right-hand shot, that might add a little bit to him. His worth, especially in the Flyers sense, since they don't really have any besides him right now.
Lance, what I think is going to be the biggest major thing here about this whole thing is that's going to be this. Who's going to be the general manager and who's going to be the coach? And that could be why things haven't been done to this point. Because quite honestly, if I was Chuck, I would have tried to have made some moves already before the trade deadline, before the break, to get those players in and get them time. And now during the break, now they get to spend all that time practicing with the team. Go figure. I mean, hey, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But why wait till the last day when you can't, the following day you can't make any moves. So whatever you need to do, you better make today. Why wait? Why not just do it now?
And another guy that's the potential unrestricted free agent that the Flyers are going to have to look and possibly deal is your favorite Steel, Justin Braun. He's 34 years old now, well past his prime.
Wait, hold on, Lance. Hold on. Let's re-sign him. Let's just re-sign him. So come on. Oh, come on. Give him another $3 million a year for another 3 more years. Come on.
No,
right?
Absolutely not. But he does offer a lot of playoff experience. He has 100 games of playoff experience. He did make it to a Stanley Cup Finals, I believe, with the Sharks.
Great.
I think the Flyers just overutilized him personally. He's a third pairing defenseman, and that's what he is.
At best.
At best, he's a third pairing defenseman, and he's all right when he's down there. But over the past 2 seasons, the Flyers expected him to step up and play with Provorov at points both seasons, where one was to replace Matt Niskanen because they didn't replace him. And then this season, when Ryan Ellis went out with injury, he was asked to play too many games at the first pairing and too many minutes. Yeah. And it showed, and it stumbled for it. Now the Flyers could do that and get rid of him and trade him, maybe, for whatever they could get for him, a third, fourth, fifth round pick.
A bag of pucks.
Right, whatever, broken stick, whatever.
Hey, can we get a bag of pucks? We'll take a bag of pucks.
Chewed up mouthpiece, whatever it takes to get the deal done.
Man, at least I was getting pucks.
Right, send him out of town, and I think he could be easily replaced with a much cheaper option next season. And a guy I like to replace him on the right side, on the third pairing, would be Matt Benning from Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
He's 27 years old, good solid defenseman when he was with Edmonton Oilers, and he's only signed this year for $1 million. And he could honestly be signed for that next season and be a third pairing right-hand shot defenseman.
And be that, and be that person that Braun could never be.
Right.
What I mean? So.
Yeah, or once was. Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, I'm with you.
Right. So moving on, we go to Keith Yandle.
Yep.
And he's 35. He's another unrestricted.
I think he's going to retire. I think he's going to hit the streak and retire.
I hopefully he does, because I think coming in this season. It was a pretty good signing for what it was, for $900,000. It was a stopgap, if you will, for Cameron York, and so the team didn't have to rush him along. He spent half the season down with the Phantoms, and now he's up with the Flyers and looking like he's going to stay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he doesn't look like he's going anywhere anytime soon, does it?
No, and rightfully so. So,
agreed.
With that, I think obviously he's expendable now, but I doubt if a team is going to come calling for him. He was, once a really point productive player and power play specialist, but he's not that this season. He struggled at times. The Flyers really kept him in the lineup just because of that streak we all have heard about. But somebody that's already in the system that could easily replace him possibly is 21-year-old defenseman Igor Zumala. He's a left-hand shot defenseman, and he makes only $756,000. So if you add in Cam York,
$250,000 cheaper.
Right. You look at Cam York coming in for under $1 million. You look up Igor Zumala coming in for under $1 million. That gives you a lot of cap space to be able to go out and spend elsewhere with with the Braun leaving, and you're bringing in maybe like a Matt Benning to play that right side for a cheaper price. You can spend that money elsewhere, and you're still getting quality young defensemen to replace these elderly, gentlemen that are just going to go over to the, analyst booth or something like that now. So
for the most part, yeah.
For the most part, Keith Yandle's got a, gift of gab, so he might be the next, Hartsey or something. I don't know, but
well, who knows? Who knows?
Each his own. And the biggest problem that's been, bothering the Flyers for years and years and years is goaltending. Martin Jones is an unrestricted free agent goaltender at season's end, and he could possibly bring some interest coming here. So in the coming weeks or so. He signed for $2 million, which the Flyers could eat some of his salary if need be.
Well, it's all prorated anyway.
It's all prorated, and they could eat the rest of it if need be to get a deal done. You look at past histories with him. He took the Sharks to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2016, and played well there. He's got a Stanley Cup.
I don't think he's played that horrible.
I think it's mostly the team. You're right.
Yeah, I really think it's more the team.
For sure. I hope that teams see that. And, I know Fleury's name's been mentioned, but I don't know if he's going to move from Chicago to help a team out. So maybe, teams settle
for... Not this far east.
Right. No. I'm saying for another team. For another team.
Far east, he's coming.
So Martin Jones is, a possible guy that teams could look at to bring in to help their number one goalie or something. Yeah. And if you look at the market last season at the deadline, there was a goalie traded for a 3rd-round pick. Dubernick was traded for a player and a 5th-round pick. So maybe we could get a prospect and a late-round pick. Who knows? Anything would be pretty good. But I don't know if the team, even though Jones is still fairly young, I don't know if he's the right fit or was the right fit maybe for this season. But I don't know if he's the right fit moving forward. As we've talked before, the Flyers might have a guy in the prospects be able to, come up. But if not, I think a free agent goaltender that could be had for a season or two is Korpisalo from Columbus. He's 27, still pretty young, and he was signed for under $3 million. Not an amazing talent, but there's not much out there.
Quite frankly, if I had my choice, I'd much rather keep Jones. I mean, to be honest with you, I would much rather just keep Jones than to try to shop around for another backup goaltender. Do you know what I mean? If we're going to be picking from really slim pickings, why not just go with somebody we already know? You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm thinking as far as Martin Jones is concerned. But I would really much rather see Ivan Fedotov come up and be that number 2. I mean, is it that time yet? Can we get him yet?
Right.
I don't get it. You know what I mean? So
I don't
anybody else that we talk about is basically just going to be, you know, a stopgap because really there's not going to be that much out there on the market. And some of the guys that are going to be out there on the market ain't really going to be worth paying that kind of money because you're not going to be able to get a backup goaltender anymore now for less than $3 million.
No, the way the league is going, you know, it's more of a 50-50 split league or 60-40 or whatever you want to look at it. And it's not the goaltender that's the star that's playing 70 games a year like Brodeur did or somebody.
Right.
You
exactly.
know, it's getting to be, you know, they maybe play 40 games. Yeah.
And that's
40 games is the top side of things. So you need 2 good goaltenders. And I don't know with a right around 900 save percentage and a 500, you know, average, you know, win-loss record. I don't know if Jones is that guy. I like him as a player. I think he's done well at times this season. But if we're looking to rebuild, if we're looking to better this team, I don't know if Martin Jones is really going to better the team next season or stay in that mediocrity that we've been in.
So here's the last question of the night. Which player on the team is going to be able to stay and help the team improve? And which players on the team are going to have to go because they're hindering the improvement of the team? You know what I mean? That list, I think, is a much larger list of guys that need to go.
You're getting a little ahead of me. Yeah. You're getting a little ahead of me.
We've talked about all those guys. You know what I
mean? Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we talked about the JVRs and his albatross-like contract. You know, that there's some good free agents out there, and it'd be nice to be able to ship his contract out and be able to spend some money this free agency to bring in some new blood.
Just to have some money to spend, you know, instead of just frivolously giving it away to these low-end 30-something guys that are just going to come in and play maybe 12 or 15 games for you, and that's about it. I don't get that mentality, and I'm really tired of it, to be honest with you.
You know, Kevin Hayes' contract is pretty darn big and stifling right now too. He was brought in with AV, and
that needs to go.
You know, that's something to be looked at too. Giroux, you know, moving on from him.
Can we get anything for Hayes? I don't think we can get anything for Hayes.
No, not right now. Maybe at the end of the season, if he's still got a lot of time left in his contract. I don't know who's going to take that on when he's been injured so much as of late. Just like Ryan Ellis, you know, we spent a lot to get him and. Have him sign
4 games.
Have him sign for a lot more years to come with a big cap hit, and he's played 4 games. So this is tough moving forward. And given his past injury history, it doesn't look good.
No.
And to me, that deal right there, as good as it looked. And we had blinders on that we needed that right-hand shot top pairing defenseman, and we were happy to see him come in. That deal just might be the nail on the coffin for Chuck Fletcher for me.
I think it is.
Because he's put the team back into you know, cap purgatory.
Yeah.
And it you know, it doesn't look good for.
That's not where we're supposed to be going, Chuck.
Yeah. He was able to get rid of Ghost and then, you know,
filled it right back up again.
Yeah, took all that cap space and spent it.
Well.
Yeah.
Lance, my friend, you got any? I know you just posted an article today, so I'm imagining you're going to take a little few days and gather up some thoughts for something new.
I got some thoughts in mind. Definitely working on some ideas, doing some research for a couple new pieces. None of my articles tend to be short in nature, so we'll.
It's not like we're long-winded or anything.
No, we've been on for over an hour now.
Yeah, so. We're not long-winded or anything. No.
Right.
Lance, my man, look, thank you very much for pulling this out, for getting this together, for rocking this show, buddy, for getting Connor on, man. Big time congrats, big time salute. Thank you very much, Lance. Really appreciate that. How can the folks find you? Where can we get you all your articles, and where can we get all your great stuff?
For sure, as always, guys, you can read all my stuff on Flyers Nitty Gritty, SteelFlyers.com. You can find me on Bleacher Report, Twitter, all over Facebook if you're into the Flyers groups there. On Twitter, send me questions or comment on my stuff. I love to keep in touch with the fans of this team. And, I'm at LNGBASSIST, the numbers 39. Big thanks out to Connor and Mama Kurth for making this happen. If you haven't, hit him up on YouTube, search that name, watch some highlights. This kid is amazing.
Kid is good.
I don't know why he is ranked so low, and he's very underrated player. I think whoever gets him is gonna, it's going to pay off tenfold for sure. And I think he's going to have a coming out party with Minnesota next season for sure.
I think so too. I really think so too. What a fine young man. Very well taken care of young man. And what a great hockey player he is becoming. He's got all the right attitude and all the right tools to make a great hockey player. And so thank you very much, Connor, for coming on. Thank you very much, Mom, for checking out Lance's article, and really appreciate all that. Folks, thank you very much for watching the Hockey Writers Inc. A big Hockey Writers Inc. salute to the FlyersNittyGritty.com website. Appreciate all your support. Appreciate all the things you do for us. Really appreciate all that. Thank you very much to that. Also would like to thank Lance. And if you like to, you can check us out on all of your podcasting platforms. We're out there on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Google, Amazon, you name it. We're out there. Find us, like us, subscribe to us, please. Thank you very much.
Tell a friend, yes.
Tell a friend. Very thanks to Connor. Thanks to Lance. This is the Hockey Writers Inc. We'll catch you all on the next show. I'm your co-host, Steel Flyers. You can find me at steelflyers.com or on Twitter at SteelFlyers52. This is the Hockey Writers Inc. We will see you on the next show.